Hello, welcome back to MCFC Connect. I hope we're all well. And yeah, today we're talking about Erling Braut Haaland and a potential contract extension to him, and his time at Man City. And yeah, we're going to talk about that, not just about the actual contract and the rumours and who it's coming from, how reliable they are, and whatnot. But it's also going to be a talk about what could be in the contract and what to expect from it. So yeah, here we go. Here's the little graphic I've got going. It's not much, but it's something. So Haaland 2029 is the current rumor. Hugh Murray is the source. Man City fans will probably know him if you don't support City though, or if you're just a bit out of touch with football YouTube, Man City YouTube at the very minimum. Hugh Murray is a Man City YouTuber, but he has got some sort of in the know knowledge. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the top dog, but he has gotten some things rightish before now. For example, end of the transfer window, he said that City were looking for a attacker and a player called, I think, Hyogo Furuhashi at Celtic was one of the names being mentioned and talked about at the club. Sam Lee also reported that. Then maybe the next morning, I think Fabrizio put a post out basically confirming that, and he gave even credits to Hugh Murray and Sam Lee. So, he's not a ridiculous name. He has been known to have certain things correct in the past before now, and which is why this has really brought me to make this video. Haaland 2029 is an interesting one for reasons. His current contract runs out in 2027, so at the end of this season, he'll have 2 years left. So you can understand why City want to kind of knuckle down on this and get it done. And his old contract actually had, the first topic, release clauses in them. So I believe he had 2 release clauses in his deal. The first one would activate in the 23-24 season, and it was a release clause of, I think, 200 million euros, a large fee for Erling would be expected, or it may have been nearer to 175. I can't quite remember, it's been a while. And the second release clause would be for the following summer, which would whittle it down to about 150. And I believe, as it went on, I believe it would get slightly lower. It wouldn't go down like 25 every time. I doubt it, because then by like the final year, it'd be like 75 million. And at that point, City getting ripped off, and I think they'd rather keep him for the year. So I believe it would slowly go down as the years went by. But there was a crucial factor to what would activate such release clause. It would have to be Pep leaving the club. I don't know if it matters how he leaves, whether his contract runs out, whether he gets sacked, whether it's a mutual parting of ways. However it happens, I believe it was just if Pep leaves the clubs, the release clause becomes active for Erling. Now then, for this deal that he's currently on, we haven't actually had to worry about that. We've had no worries in terms of his release clause. And so subsequently, it hasn't really been a thought in anyone's mind, which is good. We don't want to be thinking about the possibility of Erling leaving every summer. And sure, you'll hear some rumours from time to time. Barcelona interested, Real Madrid maybe. You might hear crazy names in there. But the bottom line is no team has actually ever gone in for him since he signed for City, and that is because the club probably considers him untouchable, much like someone like Phil Foden. But Phil Foden's a different player and a topic for another day. Now then, wage increase. This is an interesting one. At the moment, Erling Haaland, I believe, is probably the highest paid player at the club. Don't think anyone is above him. the only player I can see currently, as of today, recording this, being on a similar wage would be Kevin De Bruyne. I know Phil Foden has got a contract, probably being brewed at the club, and if he was to take that deal, I believe he would not become the highest paid, but would be up there amongst them. I believe Rodri has a contract on the table for a similar thing. But in terms of this, look, since Haaland joined the club, he's been a phenomenon. 52 goals in his first season, 40 something in his second. I think he actually got like 38 in his second, and then he's already gone over 10 in this one. So, look, when it comes to goals, he has not been shy of them. He has been ruthless, to say the least. And so subsequently, maybe his wage would go up. Now then, a lot of, to my knowledge, Erling Haaland's wage doesn't actually, I believe on base value, he actually has, from day one at the club, he actually has a lower salary than De Bruyne. But I think there were a lot of bonuses in the contract that would subsequently just boost that big time. And look, I don't know how it would work this time. I believe how it would work this time is Haaland gets a bit of a buffer onto what he already had to begin. So let's say, for example, he started on 300k when he signed the first contract. He'd probably maybe get 350k this time around a week. And then the bonuses would be reinstated and would give whatever sorts of bonuses to, keep him interested and all that. So will there be a wage increase? Maybe a bit. I'm not really sure what else it's going to mean. Now then, what else will this mean? What else will this deal bring to City? And it kind of links up with the release clause. It's being heavily speculated right now that Pep Guardiola is not going to be at the club for more than an extra season. If we can keep Pep for more than beyond next season, I think it's incredible. But at the moment, it's been kind of speculated that next season would be his last, his 10th season at the club. And Erling, that would mean that if the release clauses were the same, the release clauses will suddenly become active again. Now, this can come down to mindset from Erling. It can come down to whether he wants to stay at City, keep competing at the top level. It can come down to whether, he could easily take the Saudi money. Saudi wouldn't say no to a player like Haaland. And boy, oh boy, they would put him on insane wages. His wages would be mental. Up there with whatever they were offering Kylian Mbappe last year. They would offer him an absolute ton to come to the club, as you can imagine. And for all we know, maybe a different club goes in for him. Maybe Chelsea saves up from they've got and go in for him. I can't see him going to another English club, but maybe. Maybe Barcelona managed to scrabble around the funds and put in an offer. But we'll see. Now then, what I'm trying to say is that if Pep leaves, then attention might start spurting. We might start seeing clubs maybe just asking around, putting in a word. Because at the moment, I don't think there's any interest in Haaland to leave. As long as Pep is at the club, I believe he is protected. Because I believe Haaland just mainly wants to learn under Pep. But that is that's a topic for another day. On the actual rumour, I haven't seen many other journalists report it. There's been a couple of other City accounts, commenting on this, mentioning Haaland release clause. But it did come from Hugh Murray, to my knowledge. And there's been a couple of other little news outlets as well. Now then, look, I don't know when it's going to unfold. I think we will get news on an Erling Haaland contract extension because I don't think they're going to want to let it run down forever. But yeah, that is my personal opinion on it. Do I think he will sign this? I think he'll sign in 2029 as long as everything lines up well. I think release clauses will definitely be in there. Look, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. It would mean an absolute ton. And there's more on the way. Live streams, shorts, videos. So yeah, big ups to everyone. I'll see you in the next one.